This book is by the most famous novelist's Nobel Prize in the masterpiece of Hemingway once said, "This is the best work." In the story takes in the 20th century, near Havana. The old fisherman Santiago has been out to sea 84 days without catching a fish. But this is not the first time empty-handed, with no last 87 days. He had a named Manolin as his assistant, but because he had nothing do so, Manolin's father let the child on another boat, the first week, to catch 3 big fish. He out too, but could not catch fish. In the eyes him, maybe he would seen as unlucky, long time, he be considered incapable. Santiago naturally refused to accept others, but only Manolin knew that this old fisherman had lot of, and always admired him. Manolin had many expressed his desire to return to Santiago's boat. However, Santiago said, "If you were my own child, I would take you out to see your luck. But you are your father's, and you a boat." The next morning, the 85th day, Santiago, in cold and dark, rushed to the harbor. This time he went to usual. The breeze was calm. Santiago saw a black military shipbird. Until he was the fish, he swam towards the place. After the rose, a fish 10-pound goldfish. Sandy shook his hands, and the goldfish onto the board. He couldn't help but to. It was a good sign. It was almost noon, and the fishing rod was. With many years' experience, he felt a big fish was hooked. Sandy, after he sure that the boat was completely hooked, hugged him and pulled with all his might. But fish did not come the water. The fish opened up, and slowly the boat forward. Sandia's brother's spirit was, and the fishing rod was tightly. He was alone, and physical strength was not as before. Could patiently wait for this fish to be conditioned. It was nightfall, and after he was the fishing rod and the fish, and once the fish suddenly got strong and dragged down, fell. The mask was scratched. Though was sure it was dragged too. Sandia's brother and panicked. He cut a few pieces meat. The fish unable to get out and he could not fish out the sea. The morning, this huge marlin fish came out the water and a lake line. The Santiago thought maybe this is a dream. Later, he saw the fish come out the water and it fell. It's still hanging in the air, until confirmed that something wonderful had happened. But he could believe it. At night, golden marlin fish finally came out the water. Santiago used his last strength to the fish to the side of lifting the fish and trying insert it. The back of this, the man won. Though was too big, Santiago could only the fish to the side and hang on boat to determine the direction. However, the way back, a gray shark followed the blood of to launch, and Santiago did his best to defend his battle products. He used knife, then a short stick. The short stick was gone. He the boat to talk. As the blood started to more sharks came to wash. The was bitten, and faces were all covered blood. The fog, he looked at the light, but there nothing to. The sharks in, hear the sound of. He was too tired. He had no strength to care what the sharks were doing. When returned to the harbor, he saw the tail standing front of the tail of him. He saw the fish's bones, like a naked white thread, and the group and the long mouth and the head and tail. The fish is nothing. This mysterious giant marlin fish was eaten by leaving a useless skeleton. The fishermen are about this 18-inch long marlin fish, but the man threw it in the harbor, lying on the bed and dreaming of the 8-sided lion. Finally, a passage ends today's reading. People can be destroyed, but not defeated.